So this is going to be the first video I have filmed on the M50 Mark II, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out. I haven't stuck the light on it for now because that's on the 80D and I can't be able to take that off. Sorry. And this is also the first video I've filmed in my room for quite a while. Because of the stuff that I've shifted about, it's made it a lot easier to do a lot of things and especially film more videos. So yeah, let's just jump straight into this. So hey, it's Harry Husky. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you will be aware of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which is the sequel to the Puss in Boots, which was a spin-off of the Shrek franchise. Now, if you are in the States, you may be lucky enough to have had it for quite a while now. But as of recording this, in the UK, we've only had it in cinemas for about a week at the time I am recording this. And the reason for that being is because of what I call stupid staggered release dates. For those who don't know what I mean, I'm talking about when a movie gets released into another country, and then when it does get released into another country, it releases at a much later date, which can be quite a problem for both the viewer and the production company behind the films. To give some context as to what I mean, for example, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was released just before the end of December. However, in the UK, we didn't get it until February this year. I forget the dates, it's actually been quite a while. But the problem I have with this is that now that we're in this day and age, stupid and staggered release dates have always been a problem. But in this day and age where we have streaming services, where production companies are releasing their movies onto streaming platforms, some cases of their own, it's resulted into a lot of high quality clips ending up on social media very quickly, and a lot of them do contain spoilers. Now, this is a huge problem for myself, for the consumer, for someone who hasn't actually seen Puss in Boots yet while I have recorded, so I'm hoping to go and see it very soon. But I've seen countless clips pretty much spoiling the movie for me. I've almost seen how it ends. I've seen posts, I've seen clips through retweets on Twitter, through YouTube Shorts, and on my For You page on TikTok, pretty much almost spoiling the movie for me, and I'd not just like scrolling past it quite a bit, and it's proven to be quite a lot for some people as well. Now, this is the reason why staggered release dates are a problem for the consumer, or the viewer in this case, because of people who really want to go and see this movie. For example, people in other countries who've already seen it and have gotten access to it quicker on streaming platforms than other countries would. It's resulted in a lot of these clips being uploaded on social media, and not just high quality clips, but people still to this day filming clips on their phones and uploading them onto social media, in which cases they do appear on YouTube Shorts, Twitter retweets, and the For You page on TikTok. And do these people not realising they're committing a crime? Like, I think there was a thing that Adele was planning on introducing some technology that actually manages to disable the camera on people's phones so that they won't be able to film it and just enjoy the concert without having to get their phones out. So why hasn't that technology been implanted into cinemas or theatres yet? Because given how much piracy goes on there, and how many kids and teens and anything in between are filming clips on their phones and then posting it onto social media, pretty much ruining it for a lot of people. But if you are one of those people who didn't do any of the things, like for example who didn't upload spoilers, who didn't film, or basically didn't commit piracy, who didn't commit a crime, I will love you forever, because I'm trying to get to the cinema, obviously, to see Puss in Boots: The Last Wish as quick as I can after so much stuff that I have seen. And yeah, that also includes the amount of love and appreciation, which is quite an understatement for Death Wolf. All of the arts and posts, and holy hell, there is a lot, and quite a lot I can't show on this channel because of the nature of them. Now, going on to why these staggered release dates are a problem for the production companies. For example, we have seen quite a huge amount of staggered release dates in the past, and the gap between when they were released in countries and when they were released into another is pretty huge. The biggest one I can recall off the top of my head is the Nut Job, which, you know, that animated flick that shows how to rip off Over the Hedge and Ratatouille in one single film. Now, in the US, that was released in January, and despite its all-star cast, it was critically slaughtered, which anyone who had seen The Nut Job or is at least familiar with it will understand why. I personally haven't seen The Nut Job myself. I don't intend to see it myself based on the reviews I've heard. And that's where the problem lies, because if a movie gets bad reviews and it goes into another country at a much later date, then it is going to perform abysmally at the box office. There is a site called Box Office Mojo, which shows you the box office records, the how much it is made on opening weekends and how much it has grossed in each individual country, some of the total, and it has all this information for pretty much every film that has been in existence. So with those reviews coming in for The Nut Job after it was released in the States, it resulted in it not performing as well as it could have done in other countries where it was released at a later date. And another example I can find in this case is Sex Tape, which is a movie that some of you may remember for ruining Jason Segel's career. Now, I can't remember the release date that was, but I remember it releasing in August 2017, I think it was. But people have seen the reviews for Sex Tape prior to it releasing in their country, and based on the reviews that that movie did get when it was released in this country eventually, I can recall not many people going to see it, and in fact, I think there were very limited cinema options at the time it came out, because whenever I would go to a cinema, I would barely see any marketing for the movie on posters or boards or whatever. Regardless of what cinema I went to or drove past, there was nothing about this movie there at all. Disney have also been previously notorious for staggered release dates. I remember from the early 2010s to the mid-2010s, for example, movies like Wreck-It Ralph, Coco, Big Hero 6, probably a few others to name. Now, those films were released in November of their own respectable years. However, we in the UK, for example, didn't get them until, say, mid-January, moving on to the year afterwards. So, yeah, I don't think for Disney that's not the case anymore, because I think that their release dates between where they are in the States and in other countries are pretty much closer to you know, how they were back then. I'm sorry. And of course that didn't really matter whether or not they would get good reviews or not, because it was Disney. People were going to go and see them anyway. And the same, unfortunately, can be said for the likes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2041, you know, the one that Michael Bay, a man who literally can't make anything without explosions. Although surprisingly, he went throughout the end in TMNT 2014, which is quite a shock for me. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014 was released in mid-August of that year. However, we didn't get it until October 17th, later on in that year. That didn't seem to make that much of an impact, because obviously with it being a Michael Bay, God knows what kind of thing he did to make people go over there anyway, because it seemed to have done relatively well at the UK box office in the end. To be quite honest, I'm quite done with Michael Bay taking a massive dump on both Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and God knows what else he may take a dump on next. So yeah. And with that, that's really all I have to touch up on this topic. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and once again, if you're one of those people who didn't spoil Puss in Boots: The Last Wish in any shape or form, thank you so much, I will love you forever. But in the meantime, whatever video I end up getting up to next, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Mwah.